for a while now. I wanted to review this game, but just got distracted with other projects for a few months now. But it's finally time to get into the Simpsons Arcade Game. We'll be looking at the console release for convenience sake, and for the best quality version. After all, we don't need to cover the atrocious Commodore 64 version. If you want that, go check out LGR's review instead. So enough talk. Let's finally cover one of the most beloved classic arcade games of the 1990s. The Simpsons Arcade Game was developed and published by Konami in the year 1991 for arcade. It's a beat-em-up in the style of TMNT 2, 3, 4, and the Hyperstone Heist, or Double Dragon, if you will. It was re-released on PS3 and Xbox 360 in the year 2011 for a short amount of time, before being delisted forever, making it hard to come by. In it, you play as one of the 4 members of the Simpsons family and must rescue Maggie from Smithers as he kidnapped her during a jewelry heist, all over the course of 8 stages. You can play as each member of the Simpsons family outside of Maggie, of course, and Grandpa. Each character is the same, so you won't have any differences between them really. Bart can move faster since he uses a skateboard, but otherwise I didn't notice anything different between each of the 4 playable characters. So I did a playthrough as Homer. The gameplay is pretty simple. So simple in fact, you have 3 things to know. X is to jump, square is to attack, the D-pad or analog stick is to move. That's it control-wise. Literally, that is it. There's nothing else to it, and I'm kinda fine with that. It gives off NES-era vibes of limited controls. Though this does become a problem as you keep playing. As you can see, the combat is pretty shallow. You can attack, jump, and even jump attack. Then that's all there is. If you get another person to play with you, good luck with that. There's also team attacks. Then there's weapons you can find in each stage, like hammers, slingshots, bowling balls, soda cans, rocks, you name it, that can be used as an alternative. This overall leads to a repetitive experience with only a single attack pattern for each of the 4 characters. Plus, with the enemies able to break out of their flinching state to attack you several times, locking you into a flinch state till you die, isn't exactly fun. Yep, not only is the combat shallow, the game also features those quarter milking BS arcade mechanics. Of course, what would an arcade cabinet game be without quarter milking BS arcade mechanics? Even if it's a home port, they gotta keep that intact. Oh boy howdy, good gumdrops, G. Willikers, Batman. I just sure love getting effed in the A.
What the hell happened?
Thankfully, there's several modes you can play this game on. I always choose free game for a reason. I can keep playing even if I lose all my lives. I'll just hit the X button to continue and keep playing through the entire game, which takes roughly 20 something minutes depending on various factors.
Yeah? Go on.
Speaking of such, each stage features the usual end boss. Stage 1 is a wrestler, Stage 2 is a giant balloon, 3 is some goons, 4 is a drunk, 5 is a bear that escaped from Krustyland in Stage 2, nice detail. Stage 6 is a bowling ball, Stage 7 is Mr. Burns, looking samurai. And finally, you got Smithers and Burns for Stage 8. You think there would be more use of more well-known characters, even if this game came out earlier in the years of the show.
True.
But still, you got a variety of bosses to fight, each one doing the usual attack, stand around, get hit, get knocked down, get up, rinse and repeat, slowly beginning to change color as they get weaker, and then you beat them. Of course, however, the BS arcade mechanics are well and alive, as if you try to look for a pattern to avoid getting hit, you won't. These guys are literally random. You'll always lose a life after a life after a life after a life after a life when fighting them. These motherfuckers were designed to milk them quarters, man. Thank God for free mode.
Come back here with my kids!
There's 8 stages across the game, each one themed after a different part of Springfield. You got the streets of Springfield, Krustyland, which never was even in the show. From what I could remember, that was actually Itchy and Scratchy Land, which is easily one of the best episodes.
Oh, come on, Bart.
A cemetery with actual ghosts and zombies, Moe's Tavern, which is an underground casino for some reason now, the forest where you got a bear to fight, Dreamland after falling from a waterfall, which features basically everyone's dreams of things like Krusty, work, music, bowling, donuts, devil Barts, and an angry Marge. Which leads you to the TV network station with several theme sets to go through, like Sci-Fi in Japan. Then finally, the nuclear power plant, where you fight Smithers and Burns in his office. Yeah, you don't actually fight through the power plant, which seems weird, like they didn't want to make the game any longer, or they had to cut corners to get the game out in time. Just feels weird to not include the plant. Yet, it's a part of the Dreamland stage.
No, I'm not mad.
Overall, the game is really short to get through. I get it though, it's an arcade game. You don't want to take forever, and yet still make it milk your quarters for that milk money for school back in the day. In a way, I'm glad this game isn't an hour-long experience, because this shallow, repetitive combat does make it hard to keep going after a while. Thankfully, since this is a home version, just pause the game and take a break, and give your poor thumb some rest so it doesn't blister. Sadly, I did not do that, and my thumb still hurts as I type up this review.
Ah! My thumb!
After you beat the game with each character, you unlock bonus content to play with, each one unlocking something different. There's flashback, characters, sound test, and music test. Of course, I can't be bothered to unlock all of this stuff, since it means replaying the game several times. The repetitive nature and BS arcade mechanics just makes it a bitch to deal with, and I'd rather just move on to other things.
Nervous, Lise? I don't blame you.
Of course, what would a classic Konami beat 'em up be without a great soundtrack? No matter what, they always deliver on this. Even in the lesser TMNT games like TMNT 2 and the Hyperstone Heist have great music, and the Simpsons Arcade Game isn't any different.
And now for my final thought.
At the end of the day, the Simpsons Arcade Game is an average fun little arcade beat-em-up. It has some problems like repetitive, shallow combat and BS arcade mechanics. Otherwise, it's still tons of fun. I could see why people love this game and want it playable on modern hardware, for GOG to bring it back, or someone else. The Simpsons Arcade Game is truly one of the best arcade classics of the 1990s. I enjoyed the variety of locations, enemies, the music, and of course, all the different animations for each Simpsons character, such as when Homer starts dancing when idle, or even when Marge attacks, she throws it back like she's in a rap music video. It's a game well worth playing. Just find a way to do so. It sucks Konami will probably never bring this game back. They're stingy about their classic titles, even if it's something they fully own like Castlevania or Bloody Roar. We can only hope one day that this 90s icon can shine once more in the mainstream for future generations to enjoy, as we did/do.
Very nice indeed.
Now, as for what Simpsons game could possibly be next for a review, well, that would be the Simpsons game itself. One day though, just not anytime soon. Till then, however, anyways, that's it for this video. See you all later.
What else is on?